process to eliminate Obamacare. But my next guest says it's not too late to save Obamacare. Democratic Representative Dan Kildee of Michigan wants to save that measure, Affordable Care Act. He is leading a rally in Warren, Michigan tomorrow alongside Senator Bernie Sanders and Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer. Welcome, Representative. Good to see you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
All right, so this week, President-elect Trump had this to say about this Affordable Care Act.
Obamacare is a complete and total disaster. We don't want to own it. We don't want to own it politically. They own it right now. So the easiest thing would be to let it implode in 17, and believe me, we'd get pretty much whatever we wanted, but it would take a long time.
So do you see it imploding unless it is replaced with something else?
Well, if they repeal it and don't replace it, obviously that will have incredible consequences. And to hear President-elect Trump really speak to the political implications for the loss of health care for 20 million people, or the loss of significant coverage that can't be taken away from hundreds of millions of people, how cynical can he possibly be to be measuring this question based on the political implications? This is about the life and health of people.
At least in that soundbite, he's making the argument that it will implode unless some kind of intervention comes in to replace it with something else. So he's saying it's, or in his words, it's a total disaster, that it's going to implode this year unless a new plan is put in place.
Well, that's just rhetoric. I mean, this law, while imperfect like any law, could use some changes, I'm sure, that we can work together to achieve. But when we hear Republicans and even President-elect Trump talk about the elements of their plan, which of course is a secret, they won't reveal it, they describe the Affordable Care Act. They describe coverage that can't be taken away. They describe plans that children can be on until the age of 26. They describe the Affordable Care Act. They might want to call it something else, but the truth of the matter is, this is an important legacy, not just of President Obama, but of us finally as a nation coming to the point where we see health care as a right that shouldn't be determined by whether or not you are a wealthy person. It is something that is fundamental. The Affordable Care Act moved us forward on that. And right now, Republicans seem more focused on scoring political points or satisfying their narrow ideological base by saying, look, we repealed it, with no idea whatsoever what they will replace it with.
And then you heard in that town hall here on CNN with House Speaker Paul Ryan, you heard a